Deep in the dark outer edge of the solar system, the exploration ship Odyssey Dawn drifted through the silence of space. Captain Ryan Cole stood before the main viewport, staring at the endless black. His crew was tired. They had spent months scanning for new anomalies, asteroid fragments, lost satellites, anything that could tell them more about humanity's frontier. But tonight the sensors picked up something unusual. The radar pinged again. An object floated ahead, small, metallic, and giving off a strange, faint pulse. Could be debris from an old probe, said Ensign Kara, yawning as she adjusted her console. Signals weak but repeating. Almost rhythmic, Ryan frowned. Show me the pattern. The signal came through, soft, steady pulses, almost like a heartbeat. That was no ordinary echo from a rock. He'd seen everything from frozen comets to drifting cargo containers, but this felt different. Let's move in closer, he ordered. The ship's thrusters fired gently. As the Odyssey Dawn approached, the lights revealed a fragment of metal drifting slowly. It looked scorched, ancient. The surface was covered in thin, glowing lines that pulsed faintly with energy. The readings didn't match any known Earth or alien design in their database. Captain, said Kara, the material is regenerating. It's self-repairing metal. This isn't debris. Ryan's instincts sharpened. Get the drone ready. I want a close inspection before we bring it aboard. The drone floated out into the void, lights flickering across the metal. When its camera zoomed in, everyone leaned forward. The fragment wasn't a fragment at all. It was part of something larger. The shape beneath the burnt plating looked smooth, curved, almost like a capsule. Captain, said Engineer Holt, his voice tense, I think that's a stasis pod. Ryan blinked. That far from any known system? Impossible. But as he stared, he could see faint symbols etched into the hull, spirals and geometric patterns that shimmered like liquid glass. The crew was silent. Something about the pod felt alive. Bring it in, Ryan said finally. Slow and careful, the magnetic arms extended, locking around the object. The pod came through the airlock with a dull thud. As the chamber pressurized, condensation hissed off its surface and the glowing lines brightened as if sensing life nearby. Powers reactivating, Holt warned. I don't like this, Captain. It could be a bomb or worse. Ryan nodded but didn't move back. He felt drawn to it. The markings seemed to shift when he looked too long, forming shapes that almost looked like eyes. Run a scan, he ordered. The ship's AI processed the results in seconds. Organic matter detected, it said in its calm digital voice. Humanoid structure. Life signs. Extremely faint. A silence filled the room. Kara whispered, There's someone inside? Ryan felt his pulse quicken. Get medical ready. We open it on my mark. The engineers cut away the outer layer carefully. Underneath, a smooth crystal shell glowed faintly blue. Inside was a figure, a woman floating in suspended animation. Her skin was silver-tinted, her hair drifting like strands of light. She looked peaceful, timeless, Kara gasped. She's beautiful. Ryan said nothing. He couldn't explain it, but something in him stirred. A strange mixture of awe and sadness. Who was she? How long had she been drifting out here alone? The pod suddenly pulsed with light. Step back, Holt shouted. The scanners flared red as the energy surged, spreading through the deck. Lights flickered across the bridge. Then just as quickly it stopped. The woman's eyes opened. They were bright and silver, filled with confusion and pain. She tried to move, but her limbs trembled weakly. Ryan rushed forward, ignoring the warnings. He placed his hand on the glass. It's okay, he said softly. You're safe. She looked at him, her lips moving. The sound came faintly like a whisper carried through water. It wasn't English. It wasn't any language known to their translators. Then, without warning, the ship's systems went haywire. Alarms blared. Energy surge, Kara yelled. Coming from the pod. The woman pressed her palm to the glass, her eyes glowing brighter. A wave of soft light filled the room, knocking everyone off their feet. The air crackled with static. When Ryan opened his eyes, the pod was open, and the woman was gone. He coughed, struggling to stand. Status? Power offline, Holt groaned. We're running on backup. Ryan scanned the room. The pod was cracked open like a shell. Then he saw her, standing near the viewport, staring at the stars. Her bare feet touched the cold floor, and her silver hair floated gently in the ship's artificial gravity. Who are you? Ryan asked. She turned, her expression calm but distant. When she spoke again, the ship's AI translated fragments of her words. Empress, Syria, still lives, Ryan frowned. Empress? Dr. Imani scanned the alien with trembling hands. Her biology is extraordinary, she murmured. No infection, no damage, and her cells are crystalline. They refract light like glass. Ryan frowned. Is she stable? For now. But whatever energy kept her in stasis is fading fast. Her system is built around that power source. Ryan glanced at the shattered pod nearby. The engineers were still trying to analyze the fragments, each piece humming faintly like a heartbeat. Can we restore it? Not with what we have, Imani said. The energy signature doesn't match anything in our databases. It's like she came from another age, maybe another galaxy. Ryan studied the alien woman again. Her expression was peaceful now, but he could still remember how her eyes glowed when she first woke. There was intelligence in that gaze, ancient and aware. Suddenly her eyes opened. The soft silver glow returned as she turned her head toward Ryan. The crew stepped back, startled, but Ryan stayed still. She spoke again, her voice gentle but filled with strange, echoing tones. The ship's AI translated fragments through sound patterns. Where am I? Ryan kept his tone calm. You're aboard an Earth exploration ship. You were found drifting near Neptune. You've been asleep a very long time. The alien's brows furrowed. Earth, the lost world, you are human. Her words froze the crew. Ryan nodded slowly. Yes, do you know about us? She looked past him as if trying to remember something. Long ago we knew your kind. You were young then. Her gaze shifted back to him. How long have I slept? Ryan exhaled. We don't know exactly. Your pod was ancient, maybe thousands of years. A deep sadness crossed her face. Then my empire has fallen. Ryan leaned forward. Empire? She didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached out weakly and touched the metal edge of the bed. A soft light glowed under her fingertips, forming patterns like constellations. The ship's sensors reacted instantly, flickering with static. Captain, Kara's voice came through the intercom. Something's happening to the ship's systems. Power fluctuations all across the grid. Ryan touched his earpiece. Cut external systems. Route life support to backup. The lights dimmed. The alien woman closed her eyes, drawing slow breaths. I'm sorry, she whispered. My presence awakens old signals. They seek me. Ryan stepped closer. Who's seeking you? Her eyes opened again, glowing brighter this time. The fleet that betrayed me. The servants of the false council. They will come. The crew exchanged nervous looks. Holt muttered, Come here? Across light years? Ryan ignored him. What are you saying? She struggled to sit up. My name is Syria. I was the Empress of the Letherian Dominion. My people spanned thousands of worlds, but rebellion destroyed everything. They trapped me in stasis and I drifted, forgotten. Ryan stared at her, an Empress, alive after centuries of silence. If they betrayed you, why would they still look for you? Because my bloodline is the key, she said softly. If I live, the throne is not theirs. Her words chilled the room. Before anyone could respond, the console beeped sharply. Kara's voice crackled again. Captain, multiple energy signatures approaching fast. They came out of nowhere, no FTL trail, no drive flare. Just appeared. Ryan turned to Syria. Your people? Her expression hardened. Not mine. My hunters. Outside the viewport, faint glimmers appeared against the dark. At first they looked like distant stars. Then they moved. Ships, Holt breathed. They're surrounding us. Ryan's jaw tightened. Raise shields. Too late, Kara replied. They've locked onto us with some kind of gravity net. The ship jolted violently, throwing everyone to the floor. Sparks rained from the ceiling as the hull groaned under pressure. The alien woman grabbed Ryan's hand, her grip surprisingly strong. Do not surrender me, she said quietly. If they take me, your world will burn next. Ryan helped her stand. I don't hand over people who need help. She looked at him surprised. You would protect me, even knowing what I am? You're alive, Ryan said simply. That's enough. For a moment, Syria's expression softened, almost grateful. Then she raised her hand and the lights dimmed again. Her skin shimmered and faint symbols appeared in the air, forming a glowing circle. I can buy you time, she said. But you must flee. Do it, Ryan ordered. Kara, full thrust the second we're free. The room filled with silver light. A wave of energy rippled through the ship, breaking the gravity net for a heartbeat. Kara slammed the thrusters forward and Odyssey Dawn shot away, engines roaring. The enemy ships fired, but their beams bent off course, twisting through the empty. Void. Saria collapsed once more, her strength gone. When the ship finally drifted into the shadow of Neptune, Ryan looked out the viewport at the distant glow of the stars. The strange vessel still searched the void where they had been. Ryan nodded. What about long-range comms? Kara shook her head. Still jammed. Whatever those ships are using, it's blocking everything. No signal in or out. Ryan turned back to Saria. She said her hunters would come. Looks like she was right. Dr. Imani looked up from her scans. She's recovering faster now. Her body's drawing energy from somewhere, maybe residual power in her pod fragments. Ryan hesitated, then said, "Wake her when it's safe. I need answers." A few hours later, the medbay lights flickered as Saria opened her eyes. Her voice was faint but calm. "You hit us well." Ryan crossed his arms. "We're alive for now. Those ships, your enemies, are still out there. Who are they?" Saria sat up slowly, her silver eyes reflecting the light. "Once, they were my protectors. The Imperial Guard of Letherian. When the Council betrayed me, they reprogrammed their ships to hunt me endlessly. Machines of loyalty twisted into machines of war." Ryan frowned. "You mean those ships have been chasing you for centuries?" "Yes," she said softly. "When I was sealed in stasis, they followed my energy trace. My pod drifted across the void and they followed like ghosts. My people are gone, Captain. The Letherian Dominion is dust." Ryan glanced at the cracked pieces of her pod. "Then what do they want now?" She looked at him for a long moment. "My death will seal their control. My survival could awaken something greater, the code of the crown. It is bound to my bloodline. Whoever holds it commands the entire defense network of my empire." The weight of her words filled the room. Holt muttered, "So if they catch you, we're all done for." Ryan shot him a sharp look, then asked Saria, "And what happens if you activate that code?" Saria's gaze drifted toward the stars. "Then the Dominion's ancient systems will awaken. Planets long lost will rise again. But it requires power. Energy beyond anything your ships carry." Ryan rubbed his jaw. "There must be another way. You mentioned a homeworld." Her eyes brightened. "Yes, Letherian Prime, the Crown World. But it was hidden, its coordinates buried in the core of my pod." Ryan exchanged a glance with Kara. "We found some encrypted data in the fragments. Could be coordinates." Saria's expression turned hopeful. "Then fate still favors us." Before Ryan could answer, the lights flickered again. Kara's voice came over the comm. "Captain, you need to see this." They rushed to the bridge. Outside, the darkness beyond Neptune glowed faintly blue. A thin line of light curved across the void. "It's a scanning net," Holt said. "They're sweeping the whole area." Ryan's mind raced. "Can we use the planet's magnetic field to hide our signal?" Kara nodded quickly. "Maybe. If we dive into the upper atmosphere, their sensors might lose us. But it's risky." Ryan looked at Saria. "Can your technology help us?" She stepped closer to the control panel. The ship's lights dimmed as her fingers touched the screen. Strange symbols appeared, merging with human code. "I can bend your signature," she said. "For a moment, we will vanish." Ryan gave the order. "Do it." The Odyssey Dawn descended into Neptune's blue haze, the hull trembling as winds battered against it. Alarms flared, but Ryan's voice stayed firm. "Hold her steady." Outside, the alien scanners passed over the planet, but the ship stayed hidden, cloaked in a thin shimmer of light. Then, silence. "They're moving away," Kara whispered. "It worked." Ryan turned to Saria. "You just saved us again." She gave a faint smile. "Your courage matched mine, Captain. Perhaps our kinds are not so different." He smiled back slightly. "Different stories, same fight." But before relief could settle, a sharp tone came from the console. Holt's eyes widened. "Captain, the pod fragments are reactivating on their own." On the display, lines of alien code streamed rapidly. Seria's expression changed to concern. "They're trying to trace the crown signal. My pod carries part of my genetic code. They can sense it." Ryan slammed the console. "Shut it down." Holt shook his head. "It's self-powered. We can't stop it." Seria's voice grew urgent. "Then we must leave this system now. If they find the signal, they'll call reinforcements." Ryan took a deep breath. "We don't have the fuel for a long jump." "Then I will guide you," Seria said. "There is a place, an old outpost near the edge of the Perseus Rift. It may still have what we need." Ryan hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Set course for the rift." The engines roared to life, and the Odyssey Dawn rose from Neptune's atmosphere, disappearing into the cold silence of space. Seria stood beside Ryan at the viewport, her eyes glowing softly as stars stretched into streaks of light. "You risk much for someone you barely know," she said quietly. Ryan looked at her and smiled faintly. "Humans do that a lot. It's kind of our thing." She watched him for a moment longer, then whispered, "Perhaps that is why your kind still survives, when so many others fell." Outside, the ship slipped into the endless dark, unaware that far behind them, a massive shadow was forming, a fleet of old warships awakening from centuries of sleep, answering a signal thought lost forever. The Odyssey Dawn glided through the blackness of space, leaving Neptune behind. Captain Ryan Cole stood at the viewport, watching the distant planets shrink into tiny dots. Despite the temporary safety, tension clung to the ship like a shadow. Every crew member knew that Seria's enemies were still out there, moving in silence, waiting for the right moment to strike. Seria sat quietly in the med bay, her silver eyes fixed on a hollow display of Letherian Prime. The images flickered, showing vast cities, towers rising into clouds of energy, and massive ships once commanded by her ancestors. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. "This world, my true home. Its systems may still respond to me if I can reach it." Ryan leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "We'll get there. We just need to stay out of sight for now." Engineer Holt frowned. "Out of sight won't matter if they can track her energy signature from the pod fragments. Those ships are ancient, built to follow you across light years." Seria's gaze shifted to him. "They are relentless, yes, but not all of them are sentient. Many are guided by old protocols, loyalty encoded into metal. Once I reach the Crown World, I can override their command. We can end this pursuit." Kara's fingers flew over the console. "Captain, sensors are picking up multiple vessels ahead. They've formed a blockade near the edge of the Perseus Rift." Ryan swore under his breath. "They've anticipated our route. Looks like we'll have to fight our way through." The bridge lights flickered as tension rose. Holt checked the weapon systems, though the ship was lightly armed. "We're not built for battle against that many. We can't outgun them." Seria stepped closer to Ryan, her voice steady. "Then we must outthink them. I can guide you through maneuvers unknown to human pilots. Our enemies follow patterns. They are predictable." LT shouted. Ryan slammed controls to compensate. "Hold steady. Divert power to shields." The ship tilted violently, dodging another pulse. Seria extended her hand toward the console. Symbols appeared in the air, glowing softly. The lights in the ship flickered, but the pulses from the enemy ships bent around the Odyssey Dawn, failing to make contact. Ryan's eyes widened. "What did you just do?" "I interfaced with your systems. My energy can mask the ship's signature for a short time," Seria explained. Her calm tone contrasted with the tension around her. "Use this window." With precision, Ryan guided the ship through a narrow canyon of asteroids. The enemy vessels couldn't follow without risking collision. One by one, they fell behind, their formation disrupted. The Odyssey Dawn slipped through the rift like a shadow, invisible to most of the fleet. Once clear, Ryan allowed himself a small sigh of relief. "Good work, Seria. That was incredible." She shook her head slightly, her expression serious. This was only temporary. The main fleet still hunts me. If we do not reach Letherian Prime soon, they will continue to pursue us across light years. Ryan nodded. Then we keep moving. No stops. No distractions. The crew worked in tense silence, repairing the minor damage from the attack. Sparks flew as Holt reinforced the hull, and Kara recalibrated the navigation systems. The med bay was quiet, save for Saria resting, her body drawing energy from the remaining pod fragments. Hours passed, and the Odyssey Dawn entered the outer edge of the rift. The space there was strange. Clouds of glowing dust, shifting gravitational fields, and remnants of old star systems. Ryan's eyes scanned the sensors carefully. It's dangerous territory. One wrong move and we could be trapped. Saria opened her eyes, her silver gaze calm despite the dangers. This is the path few know exists. Only my bloodline can guide a vessel safely through these fields. We are close to the outpost now. It is ancient, but it holds resources. Fuel, repairs, and knowledge that can help me reclaim Letherian Prime. Ryan's jaw tightened. Then we'll reach it. Together. As the ship moved cautiously through the rift, a faint shimmer appeared. On the sensors, a small vessel, cloaked in the dust, almost invisible. Ryan froze. Sensors are picking something up, could be another patrol. Saria's eyes narrowed. No, it is a scout. Sentient. They are testing us. We cannot be reckless. Ryan glanced at the crew. Everyone was tense, but ready. All stations, stay alert. Shields up, weapons on standby, and keep to the course. We do not engage unless we must. The scout vessel followed, appearing and disappearing as it used the rift's natural distortions. Ryan gritted his teeth. Looks like they know we are coming. They're heretics too, serving the wrong council. Saria's voice was calm, almost a whisper. Then we must show them that the Empress still lives. Ryan gave a short nod, gripping the controls. The Odyssey Dawn moved deeper into the rift, every crew member alert, every system running at maximum efficiency. Ahead, in the midst of glowing, dust and shifting stars, lay the ancient outpost, a relic from a forgotten time untouched by centuries of war. It was their only hope, and the last chance to prepare for the battles still to come. Far behind, the Shadow Fleet regrouped, their lights flickering like ominous stars. They would not give up. Not until the Empress was captured or destroyed. The viewport. This place was once a Letherian forward station, she said quietly. It has long been abandoned, but the systems still respond to my presence. There may be supplies, and more importantly, knowledge left behind by my ancestors. Engineer Holt frowned. Knowledge? You mean like weapons and defenses? Not just weapons, Saria replied. The outpost contains archives, databanks, star maps, and technology that can awaken old systems. We may find a way to reclaim Letherian Prime here. Ryan nodded. Then we get in, get what we need, and get out. No mistakes. The ship descended carefully toward the outpost. Its long, angular towers rose from the dust, etched with alien symbols that glowed faintly in response to Saria's energy. As the Odyssey Dawn hovered near the landing bay, a soft vibration ran through the hull. Kara's fingers flew over the console. Sensors are detecting residual power sources. Some of the defenses are still online. Saria's gaze narrowed. Old security protocols. They will recognize a Letherian signature, that's why I must lead the interface. Stand back. She extended her hands and glowing symbols floated from her fingers, merging with the ship's control systems. The lights flickered and hummed as alien energy intertwined with human code. Slowly, the docking clamps engaged automatically, guiding the Odyssey Dawn safely into the landing bay. The crew exhaled with relief as the ship touched down. Ryan looked around at the towering structure. Dust swirled in faint currents, illuminated by the glow of the alien symbols. Stay sharp, he said. We don't know what else might be inside. Saria led the way through the outpost's main corridors. The walls were lined with screens, some flickering with long-dead code. The Letherian dominion was vast, she said. This outpost served as a relay for distant colonies and fleets. If we can access the archives, we can locate my crown world and awaken defenses that will protect us. The crew followed, keeping weapons ready, though the corridors were empty and silent. The air was still, almost sacred. Then in the main control chamber, Saria paused. "Here," she whispered. "The core archives." Hollow screens flickered to life at her touch, displaying star maps, fleet records, and encrypted data. Ryan and Kara leaned over the panels, trying to comprehend the alien symbols. Saria guided their eyes to a specific set of coordinates. "These lead to Lithirian Prime," she explained. "But there is more. A weapon system is hidden there, ancient defenses that can turn the tide against my enemies. I must access it carefully, or it could reactivate against us." Holt frowned. "A weapon? How powerful?" Saria's eyes glimmered. "Capable of controlling the old fleets. It was meant to protect the Dominion, not destroy worlds. But in the wrong hands, it could end entire star systems." Ryan swallowed. "Then we make sure it stays safe, whatever it takes." As they worked to download the data and stabilize the outpost systems, the ship's sensors blinked urgently. "Captain," Kara shouted. "Multiple ships approaching. They must have traced us through the rift." Ryan cursed. "They've found us already?" Saria's expression hardened. "They are faster than I expected. We have little time. The archives must be secured, or our journey ends here." Ryan quickly directed the crew to finish stabilizing the systems. The outpost hummed with renewed energy as Saria interfaced with the core. Lights blazed along the walls, reflecting in the silver strands of her hair. Symbols glowed across the floor, forming intricate patterns that pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. "Almost done," she whispered, "but I will need protection while I finish." Ryan nodded. "Holt, Kara, stay with her. I'll coordinate the defenses." The outpost's walls shifted, revealing hidden turrets and energy barriers. The symbols responded to Saria's presence, activating old defense mechanisms. Ryan guided the crew to strategic positions, preparing for the inevitable attack. Outside, the approaching fleet emerged from the rift. Their weapons glowed faintly, scanning the outpost. Saria's voice echoed in the chamber. "If they breach the defenses, the archives may be lost. We must hold them off." Ryan looked at her, determination in his eyes. "Then we hold them. Together." The first blasts struck the outer shields. Sparks flew as energy barriers absorbed the impact. The crew fired from the turrets, slowing the enemy's advance. Saria's hands glowed brighter as she extended energy pulses that interfered with the approaching ship's targeting systems. Ryan watched in awe. "She's controlling their systems, even from here." Saria's silver eyes met his. "We are close, Captain. If we survive this, the next step is Lithirian Prime. There we will reclaim what was lost." The battle raged, but for the first time since awakening, Saria's energy and the crew's courage worked in perfect harmony. The outpost held, and the path to the crown world remained within reach. Ryan tightened his grip on the console. "We've survived worse," he muttered, "and we're not stopping now." Saria stood tall, her presence radiant. "The past is waking," she said softly, "and humanity is ready to stand with me." Outside, the alien ships regrouped, but the outpost was no longer an abandoned relic. It was alive, and its defenders, human and Empress alike, were ready for what came next. The journey to Lithirian Prime had only just begun. The Odyssey. Dawn lifted from the outpost, its engines humming steadily as the crew prepared for the journey to Lithirian Prime. Outside, the Perseus Rift shimmered with distant energy storms, streaking light across the darkness of space. Ryan Cole watched the stars stretch into streaks, feeling the weight of what lay ahead. Every moment counted. Saria stood near the viewport, her silver eyes focused on the coordinates flickering on the holo display. "Lithirian Prime awaits," she said softly. "It has remained hidden for centuries, protected by energy fields and my own design. Only one who carries my bloodline can enter freely." Ryan nodded. "Then let's make sure you get there." The journey was tense. Every system on the ship ran at full capacity, monitoring for threats, analyzing energy signatures, and recalculating safe paths through unstable space. The fleet that had pursued them from Neptune could be anywhere, and Seria's enemies were relentless. Hours passed in silence, broken only by the quiet hum of the engines. Kara kept the sensors active, her eyes flicking between multiple displays. "Captain, something's unusual," she said finally. "The energy fields around Letherian Prime, they're fluctuating. It's like the planet is alive." Seria's eyes widened slightly. "Yes, the planet's systems were designed to respond to my presence. They detect my energy signature, adjusting defenses automatically. I will need to interface directly to access them fully." Ryan glanced at her. "Directly? What does that mean?" She turned to him, her expression serious. "It will take strength. My body will become a conduit for the planet's power. I may appear vulnerable, but the systems will flow through me. It is the only way to awaken Letherian Prime's defenses against those who seek to destroy me." Holt muttered under his breath. "Sounds dangerous. Can she survive it?" Seria nodded faintly. "If I fail, we will all fail. But with you here, I have hope." As they approached Letherian Prime, the planet's surface shimmered beneath them. Massive structures rose from the terrain, glowing faintly with dormant energy. Ryan could see fields of light sweeping across the cities, sweeping like waves over the land. "That's incredible," he whispered. "It looks alive." Seria stepped forward. "It is. Every building, every tower, every energy node is connected. My ancestors built it to protect the Empire. It listens to my voice, my energy, and my presence." Ryan gave a short nod. "Then let's awaken it." The ship descended slowly. The landing pads recognized Seria's energy signature, guiding them to a central tower. As the hull touched the surface, a pulse of light spread across the planet. The dormant systems began to stir, sending streams of energy upward like the heartbeat of a living world. Seria closed her eyes, raising her hands. Symbols glowed along her arms and across the floor. The lights in the tower pulsed in rhythm with her breathing. Ryan watched, mesmerized. This was unlike anything he had ever seen. Suddenly, sensors on the ship blared. "Captain, incoming fleet!" Kara shouted. "They've found us! Hundreds of ships closing fast!" Ryan clenched his fists. "Shields up! Weapons ready!" Seria's eyes opened, glowing brighter than ever. "Do not fear," she said calmly. "I will not allow them to touch us. The planet's defenses are ours now." Outside, the enemy ships advanced, beams of energy stretching toward the planet. But the moment Seria connected fully with Letherian Prime, the ground beneath the ships trembled. Energy towers rose from the planet's surface, sweeping arcs of light across the attackers. Weapon systems long dormant activated, targeting the intruders with precise accuracy. Ryan stared in disbelief. "She's controlling the planet." "Yes," Seria said, her voice strong and clear. "The Dominion is awake. Its power is mine to command." The fleet fired relentlessly, but every attack was countered by the planet itself. Energy shields rose, deflecting beams, and automated defenses engaged, dismantling the enemy ships one by one. The air around the landing site hummed with power as the planet's systems roared to life. Ryan and his crew manned the defensive turrets, their small weapons aiding in the battle, but it was clear that Letherian Prime itself had become the ultimate shield. Seria's silver eyes glimmered as she raised her hands, and the planet responded instantly. A wave of energy sweeping across the horizon and forcing the remaining enemy ships to retreat. When the last ship vanished into the void, silence returned. The hum of Letherian Prime's energy was steady and calm, like a great heartbeat echoing across the land. Ryan exhaled slowly. "We did it," he said, looking at Seria. She turned to him, her expression serene but powerful. "We did more than survive. We reclaimed a legacy," Ryan nodded. "And now your empire. It's alive again." Seria's gaze moved to the horizon, to the towers and cities glowing with energy. "The Dominion may rise, but it will not rise alone. Humanity has proven its worth. You have fought for me, stood by me, and now you are part of the future of Letherian Prime." Ryan's jaw tightened. "We didn't come here to rule. We came to help. But I'll stand with you, Empress." She smiled faintly. a silver glow radiating from her as the planet pulsed in acknowledgement. Then let this be the beginning. Together we will restore balance to the galaxy and ensure that no one can destroy what we have built. As the Odyssey Dawn landed fully, the crew stepped onto the surface of Litherian Prime. The planet's energy enveloped them, warm and powerful. It was a moment of triumph, but Ryan knew their journey was far from over. Seria's enemies still existed, scattered across the stars, and the galaxy was vast. But for the first time, he felt that the impossible was possible. Humanity and the Litherian Dominion could face the future together. The Empress was alive, the planet awake, and the galaxy was about to witness the rise of a new era. Seria's voice echoed softly across the landing site. The past is gone, but the future belongs to those who fight for it. Ryan looked at her, determination shining in his eyes. Then let's fight. For them, for us, and for everything yet to come. The silver light of Litherian Prime bathed the land, and the horizon glowed with the promise of what awaited. The Empress and the humans stood side by side, ready for the battles ahead. The surface of Litherian Prime shimmered under a soft silver light, the planet's energy pulsing like a heartbeat through the air. Captain Ryan Cole stepped carefully alongside Seria the Empress as they walked toward the central tower. Around them, the ruins of the old civilization glowed faintly, brought to life by Seria's presence. It was beautiful, and yet Ryan could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. "Everything here responds to you," he said quietly. "Even the ground seems alive." Seria's silver eyes glimmered. "It is alive. Litherian Prime has always been more than a world. It is the memory of my people, their strength, their knowledge, and now it awakens fully because I have returned." Ryan glanced at the Odyssey Dawn in the distance, its hull reflecting the planet's glow. "We're safe, for now. But your enemies, those fleets are still out there." "Yes," Seria admitted. "They may regroup, but the Dominion's defenses are ours. The fleets cannot approach without being dismantled. They underestimated the bond between a world and its Empress." Ryan studied her, admiration in his eyes. "You just turned an entire planet into a fortress. I've seen a lot in my life, but nothing like this." Seria's expression softened. "Power without purpose is meaningless. That is why humans are remarkable. You fight not for glory, but for what is right." "You reminded me of that, Captain." Ryan felt a strange warmth. "I only did what anyone would do if someone needed help." A low hum spread across the landscape, resonating through the air and the ground. Ryan could feel it in his chest. "What is that?" he asked. "The Crown Network," Seria explained. "The heart of Litherian Prime. It connects every system, every defense, every fleet. It responds to my presence now. We can restore order or destroy it if misused." Ryan frowned. "And you'll restore order?" Seria nodded. "Yes, but not alone. Humanity has shown it can stand beside me. That is why I offer alliance. Together we can protect the galaxy from those who would bring chaos." As she spoke, the horizon shifted. Hundreds of distant ships appeared, scanning the planet. Ryan's heart raced. "They're back," he said. "They must have regrouped." Seria stepped forward, raising her hands. The symbols on her arms glowed, pulsing with energy. Beams of light shot from the towers across the landscape, sweeping through the approaching fleet. Ryan watched as enemy ships faltered, energy arcs bending around them, systems failing one by one. "They're underestimating the power of Litherian Prime," Seria said calmly. "Watch carefully, Captain." Ryan and the crew manned the Odyssey Dawn's defensive turrets, firing at the few ships that managed to approach. But it was clear, the planet itself was the strongest weapon. Energy shields expanded, sweeping the fleet into disarray. Ships were lifted off course, their engines disabled. Even the largest vessels could not survive the precision of the planetary systems. The battle lasted only minutes, though it felt like hours. When the last hostile ship drifted away, silent and disabled, Ryan lowered his arms. "That one was incredible. You just saved your empire." Seria turned to him, her eyes calm but powerful. "No, Captain. We saved it together. Humans have courage that my people often lacked. You reminded me why life is worth protecting." Ryan glanced at his crew, tired but smiling. "Then I guess we're part of history now." Seria nodded. "Part of the future, Captain. Litherian Prime will thrive again, but it will not be alone. Humanity will stand with us." A soft wind carried through the glowing landscape, rustling the alien trees and the energy fields. The city structures pulsed gently as if breathing, Ryan looked at the horizon, where distant stars stretched across the sky. "So what now?" he asked. "Now," Saria said, "we rebuild. The Dominion will rise, but with guidance and wisdom. We will reach out to surviving systems, restoring alliances, and we will ensure that those who seek power without honor never threaten the galaxy again." Ryan smiled faintly. "Then I guess the galaxy isn't ready for a boring story just yet." Saria's silver eyes twinkled. "No, Captain. Adventure is far from over. But this time, we face it with allies we can trust." Ryan glanced at his crew. They had fought, survived, and protected the Empress together. They were tired, but their spirits were strong. "Then we face it together," he said. Saria extended her hand, her glow reflecting in the planet's light. "Yes, together." The sun began to rise over Letherian Prime, casting long silver shadows across the towers and fields. The planet shimmered alive and renewed. Ryan looked around, feeling the weight of the moment. Humanity and the Letherian Dominion stood side by side, ready to face the stars. Far beyond, other worlds watched in silence, unaware that a new force had awakened, a combination of human courage and ancient Letherian power. Together they would shape the galaxy's destiny. Ryan turned to Saria one last time. "Looks like you weren't just lost after all." She smiled softly. "No, Captain. I was waiting for someone who could help me awaken it. And you were here." He nodded, feeling a sense of pride he had never experienced before. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers. But for the first time, he felt confident that humanity and the Empress could meet whatever came next. The stars glimmered above, Letherian Prime pulsing with life, and the Odyssey Dawn rested safely on the planet's surface. A new era had begun, one of hope, unity, and the promise of adventure across the endless expanse of the galaxy. And for the first time in centuries, the Empress and her humans stood together, ready to face the future as one.